Is it worth being a YouTube guitarist in 2025? Nah. Or is it? Now, I want to start by making it completely clear that I have nothing against YouTube as a platform. I feel that YouTube is one of the least nefarious social media platforms. And I've said this before, that I don't consider myself a YouTuber. And I mentioned in a previous video that I think someone who is very much a YouTuber took offense to that and thought that I was somehow kind of looking down my nose at YouTubers. The reason I don't consider myself a YouTuber is because I don't feel that I create regular enough, or even even high quality enough content to consider myself a YouTuber. I don't do it full time. I make a pittance from it. I make peanuts from YouTube, which is something we'll get into a bit later. I'd love to spend more time committing to my channel, but it's an extremely time-consuming and thankless task a lot of the time. And the way the algorithm kind of works at the moment, I don't feel that I can make the genuine content that I want to make. I feel that there are a lot of people out there who are, for various reasons, pandering to the algorithm, and you see it day in, day out, to the point where a lot of YouTube channels are carbon copies of one another. I remember somebody telling me over 10 years ago now, maybe 2014, that the YouTube ship has sailed. The people that got in there early, musicians, let's talk about guitar, you know, just because that's what this channel is, but the YouTube guitarists who got in there and started making a lot of money or getting a lot of subscribers from YouTube, that won't be repeatable. That's already done, you know. And I kind of bought that wholesale. I kind of thought, well, you know, there's no chance for, there's no room for anyone else. It's already a saturated market. But that was before the days of Rick Beato, you know. That was before, I think Rick Beato started his channel maybe 2015, you know, and has become probably the biggest YouTube guitarist, if you like, or certainly one of them. So the algorithm has changed a lot since then. I think back then people were a lot less disingenuous about the content that they created. There was none of these thumbnails with distant, bewildered looks and kind of face palms, like, oh, I wish I'd known this before I put my HX Stomp in the blender. Oh, I can't believe I didn't know this volume knob hack sooner. Like it's the worst thing in the world. You know, these tactics that are playing to the algorithm from people who previously had the integrity to do their own thing, you know, people who are very much their kind of true selves. And there are exceptions to that on YouTube, of course there are. There are loads of people I see, you know, channels, Rob Harris springs to mind, you know, someone who will go on and talk very openly and sincerely and unfiltered and genuinely about his real world experiences, and you know, you only have to look at his CV to know that he is the real deal. Pete Thorne is one of the biggest YouTube guitarists out there, and he does a lot more than that. He's a touring guitarist. He's worked with Chris Cornell. He's worked with, you know, countless other artists, about to go on tour with Vian Satriani, and Pete is completely himself on his channel. And I think people buy into people's personalities when they're themselves and they're not kind of being this really kind of over the top, hey guys, what is up? Don't forget to smash that like button, which always sounds really disingenuous coming from a non-American, because I think as Brits we're a lot more kind of reserved. So I'm not discouraging anyone from starting a YouTube guitar channel, but I guess a lot of people would want to know, can you make money from YouTube? Now, make no mistake, every guitarist with a YouTube channel is trying to sell you something in some capacity, whether they're just selling you clicks in order to get advertising revenue, or whether they're selling you an online course or a book. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We live in a world now where everybody wants everything for free. I don't want to wax lyrical about back in the day where if you wanted to learn something, you had to go to a guitar teacher and pay him actual money, or, you know, you would go into Rose Morris in Denmark Street and buy an REH or Hot Licks video for like 30 quid and hope that you would learn something. There's never been a better time. There's never been a luckier time to pick up the instrument and go online, and you can learn something for free. Or you could go on to TrueFire or JTC and you can buy courses from some of the best players in the world. You know, you can buy a Jake Wilson course or a course from Tom Quayle or David Beebe or Andy Timmons, you know. We're so lucky to live in that world. But there are some people who will sit in front of YouTube and kind of go, okay, so teach me. And if the video isn't to their liking within 30 seconds, it's all, oh, you talk too much, or the person whose channel it is kind of opens themselves up to trolling. It can be such a thankless job creating YouTube content. And if ever you want a job where strangers will make you feel like you work for them, then start a YouTube channel. So yeah, everyone's trying to sell you something. When I make my content, I like to think that I create content that people are going to find useful or helpful. But of course, I hope that someone will buy one of my courses or book a lesson with me. Yeah, of course I hope that. I make very little money through YouTube, and I'm very suspicious of people who have fewer subscribers than I do when they claim that they're somehow kind of paying the bills, because I don't see any evidence of that with the pittance I make. And I like to think that I make money through YouTube instead of from YouTube. So it's a numbers game. You know, you get enough views on a video, someone will sign up to my free course, Blues Rock Phrasing, completely free, no obligation. But some people will enjoy the content, enjoy the course, and then they'll go on to buy one of my other courses, or they'll sign up to Absolute Blues Guitar, which is my online blues course. Of course I want that. I've got a family. I need to put food on the table. I've got a dog sitting over there to support. Professional musicians aren't under any obligation to give you everything for free. You know, you wouldn't expect that from a plumber. I know everyone uses that analogy, but, you know, it's true. So can you make money from YouTube? Now, the harsh truth is, for me personally, I don't consider myself a successful YouTube creator. As I said, I don't make content regularly enough. Some of the success, if you want to call it that, I've had on YouTube has kind of happened in spite of me, not because of me. I think on this channel, my most successful video has had something like, at this particular time of filming this, has had something like 700,000 views. But it's been on there for years. And on my on the Absolute Blues Guitar channel, there's a lesson on there that's had, I think 1.6 million, 1.4 million at this particular time. And again, that's been there for about 4 years. Now, the Absolute Blues Guitar channel, my other channel, is not monetized. We decided not to monetize it because we wanted the videos to serve as the advert for the website. We didn't want people to be hit with you know, advertising, like just adverts. And I wanted the same for my channel as well. I only monetized my channel 2 years ago. And the reason I did it was because YouTube never used to, if your channel wasn't monetized, you didn't subject the viewers to adverts. But then YouTube started putting adverts on unmonetized channels. So I thought, might as well do it, see if I can make a trickle of income. What a trickle it's been. Ooh. But I don't think people realize how time consuming it is to make content and to make it regularly. You know, when I've got quiet weeks with teaching or gigs, I will endeavor to make something for YouTube. And you're talking kind of 20 hours to make an 8-minute video, depending on, you know, what I'm playing, what I'm recording, how many kind of edits I need to make. Something like this I can just knock out in 5 minutes, but I've still got to kind of edit it and upload it and pick a thumbnail where I'm going. But what I want to do with my YouTube channel, I want to be more like me. I don't want to kind of pander to the algorithm. I made the mistake of reading a book about how to grow a YouTube channel, and the author, I forget his name, the author who wrote the book was banging on and on about Mr. Beast. And I hadn't heard of Mr. Beast. I mean, some people might think I've been living under a rock, but, you know, I'm not a 12-year-old kid from Idaho. I watch guitar content on YouTube, occasionally watch, you know, videos on how to restore a toilet using white vinegar and bicarbonate of soda. It doesn't work. Thanks for that. That's literally 40 minutes of my life down the toilet. But, you know, I don't watch Mr. Beast content. I never have. I'm now aware that he is the most successful YouTuber. But this guy was kind of holding him up as you know, someone to aspire to, and talking about, you know, how short your videos are, what your thumbnails should comprise of, and you know, all this stuff. And I kind of adhered to it for a while, and I kind of had my videos be, you know, kind of 8 minutes long, and they kind of have a definitive beginning, middle, and an end. And I didn't really see any kind of meaningful kind of difference. But there's something very disingenuous about some of the thumbnails and some of the titles that I'm seeing. You know, why you need this lick in your playing. I've been guilty of that. You know, about 10 years ago, it was all 50 country licks you must know. What's going to happen if you don't know them? Is someone going to come around and, you know, steal your trousers? I get it. Everyone's competing against one another for views and stuff. But I've kind of become a little bit disillusioned with the whole YouTube thing. And I mean, it's one of the reasons I haven't been putting out content as much as I was like. But I've also had a lot kind of going on. And I haven't been able to. For a long time, I played in Pink Floyd, or a couple of Pink Floyd tribute bands. And one of my most successful videos is actually a Comfortably Numb tutorial. And I kind of, it's almost like being typecast. It's almost like, you know, an actor being typecast. I became that Pink Floyd guy. I became, if you look at the comments on that video, the ones that aren't kind of trolling me, people will say, oh, what about the studio version? Or sorry, what about the live version from Pulse of, or you know, what about doing a video on Delicate Sound of Thunder? And you know, in the days of copyright strikes and stuff like that, there's very little point in kind of making content like that. I did it for a while. I mean, to be honest, I don't really like Pink Floyd that much. I don't want to make product videos. I can't really make guitar videos because I'm left-handed. You know, guitar manufacturers aren't going to suddenly send me a bunch of left-handed guitars to demonstrate. All the gear I have is my own, and it's stuff that I use. You know, so product videos are kind of out the window, and that's a real kind of saturated market. So should you start a YouTube guitar channel? I think you absolutely should. Don't listen to people like me. Don't listen to people like me kind of moaning about my kind of lack of success or my frustrations with it. But I do feel that you have to, nowadays, when the algorithm is changing so rapidly and so frequently, you need to find your niche. And you need to find something kind of unique, and hopefully you can do it with some degree of sincerity and integrity, and be yourself, rather than feeling like you need to be some kind of influencer and, you know, some kind of personality du jour, you know, which you might kind of look back on in a few years' time and find annoying. You know, I look back at some of my videos occasionally, I think, what a head. So just kind of food for thought. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any frustrations with your own YouTube channel, or whether you've had any frustration with other people's YouTube channels, whether you've kind of considered starting your own. Any content that you'd like to see from me, don't say Pink Floyd tutorials, please. It'll be great to kind of hear your thoughts on this. Sorry, this is just a bit of a stream of consciousness, but I figured I had to sort of get it out there, you know, for the algorithm and stuff. Cheers, bye.